Okay, I want to pivot now. I've got to get to Fauci. Blockbuster story in the Washington Post this afternoon. I'd like you to give us, if you've got it in front of you, you could give us the headline, but absolutely stunning. But what this story shows, I think, is that people at NIH and NIAID are now starting to leak on Fauci. This Peter Navarro, a week ago yesterday, last Monday, said Fauci's done within 100 days. We've been asking about the over and under on that, but I got to tell you, not only is he on an island, the White House does not come out and protect this guy. He's not on primetime TV anymore. Dr. Navarro, tell the people what this Washington Post story said and how outrageous it is.
So first of all, what I said on this show weeks ago, and when all this started happening, was that the first thing that would happen is Fauci could no longer go on TV because he wouldn't be able to answer the tough questions. So if you see him out there, it's only going to be on the friendliest. This is right out of a Sherlock Holmes novel, right? This is the dog that didn't bark. There's thousands of emails there. And the ones that are important, Steve, are the ones that are between
hang on, email, but hang on. It's emails between what parties?
Okay, so there was a Freedom of Information Act that got all of Fauci's emails, right? The ones that are important for this story are the ones between Fauci and this guy named Gao, G-A-O, who's basically the director of China's Centers for Disease Control, right? He was the guy over there who was in charge, basically, of figuring out how to deal with the virus and how to hide it, basically, from where it came from. So here, the dog that didn't bark, right? The same as Sherlock Holmes' dog that didn't bark. It's like none of these emails between the two of them does Fauci ever ask about the origin of the virus. And he doesn't ask because he knows his culpability. The last thing he wants to do is stir that pot. Because Fauci, from the minute this broke, and he saw the virus broke within ground zero of the Wuhan Institute of Virology, Fauci knew that he had sent funding to that lab, and more importantly, he had authorized gain-of-function weaponization experiments at that lab. So this is, again, it's not what the emails say in this case. It's what Fauci does not say to Gao and what Gao does not say to Fauci. Because there's no way you can have that communication.
By the way, in the emails, they actually say, he actually tells Gal, we're going to get through this together. I mean, it's not
together,
like
yes.
It's not like he's a partner. They're colleagues. The CDC, the Wuhan lab. He's not only is he funding them. Remember, this was in the time frame that he was asked the question. He says, "I talk to my Chinese colleagues on a daily basis, and what they told me." This is after the CDC. Remember, this is the guy that actually told the World Health Organization back on January 14th. There's no community spread and there's no human-to-human transmission. Yeah. A stone-cold lie that led to hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of deaths. This is the guy. Yeah. Gao is one of them that lied directly to the WHO. Yep, go ahead.
Exactly. Let me a couple of things. First of all, there's an email in there that's heavily redacted between Mark Short, who is the chief of staff to the Vice President Pence and also the de facto director of the White House Coronavirus Task Force, and Fauci, heavily redacted. There's absolutely no reason to redact an email. There could be nothing in there that we shouldn't have access to. I want to know what they redacted. Now, let's refresh our memory for your audience. For your radio audience, I'm looking at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Let's remember this. This is the lab which was at ground zero where the virus first surfaced. So by Occam's razor, the most likely source of this is the lab. We already ruled out the wet market. Don't ever let anybody suggest that wet market was the source. That's ruled out now, okay? So what Fauci did was he took your money, American taxpayer money, and he funneled it through third parties like Peter Daszak and this guy Barrick, a scientist at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, gave him money. Here, the bat lady, Sheng Li, she's the one who brought the horseshoe bats here. She worked with Barrick and Daszak, and what they did, Steve, was they took the horseshoe bat viruses that they had collated and curated here at the lab, and they used that as the backbone for the genetic engineering experience. And Dr. Yang has done a beautiful job in her research of showing how that horseshoe bat virus as the backbone became this kind of just really weaponized camel by committee where this thing had all kinds of different forms of weaponizations. The ability to attack your cells more precisely. It's asymmetric spread. It's impervious to heat and humidity. I mean, truly a neutron bomb. And this is the house that Fauci built. If the virus came from this lab, which we believe it did, then Tony Fauci is the father of the virus, godfather of the pandemic. And we get back to the email, Steve. When he's talking to his counterpart Gao in China, Fauci does not say anything about the origin of the virus. No question. Can you, where did this come from? Can you help us? Should we look into it?
Yeah.
He doesn't want that top. That's Pandora's box. And
because he knew.
This SOB got away with it right through Election Day. I mean, if we knew what we knew now, then he would have been gone in a New York minute. He would have been gone, and people would be alive today. Tens of thousands of Americans would be alive today if he had been gone. But nowhere to run, nowhere to hide here, Steve.
Okay, Dr. Peter Navarro is going to stay with us. He's our co-host for the hour.